Hello there. If you are a Shopify store owner or someone who's managing a Shopify store, then this video is for you. Hi, this is Sandeep, and in today's video, we'll see how the Shopify native speculation rule offerings are little different than Smart Prefetch, their constraints, and how they affect the performance of your store and the conversion. Let's deep dive. So let's start understanding this speculation rule. This speculation rule tells browser that hey, when someone comes to page 1 of my website, they are most likely to go to page 2, 3, and 4, and these pages can be anything. So when you tell this to browser understands that okay, there's a strong probability user will go to page 2, 3, 4, one of these, and then browser pulls these 3 pages in advance and keeps them in the memory. So when user or a visitor actually clicks on, let's say, a link of page 3, because it's already available in the browser's memory, the navigation happens almost instantly, and it gives like app like feeling because user don't have to wait. Traditionally, when you click on link of page 3 being on page 1, the browser goes to server generates the page, gives it back to the browser, and while all this happens, the user has to wait, right? Because there's a round trip involved. Now with this speculation rule, user don't have to wait if your guess is correct. So while this is a powerful feature, the crux is all about doing the right guesswork. If your guesswork is right, all your predictions will be better and the user journey will be better. So, and especially for e-commerce, right? Every second saved improves the conversion by almost 7%. So if you're optimizing your entire user's journey, you already know where the user may go, then you are optimizing the entire journey and saving a lot of time for your users waiting for the navigation. And that's what we'll see in today's video. How are these two offerings different? Because it's all about doing the right guesswork and doing the right speculation. So we talk about how it improves the future navigation, and the browser stores them in per document. I mean, the pages or the memory for every page is different. Prefetch done for one page will not be applicable for another page, so it has to be done with every navigation and every page load. And then it becomes must have for multi-page applications, and a typical e-commerce website like Shopify or WooCommerce is a typical example, which are multi-page. And in the buying journey, user, they go through different pages, right? They go to product listing page, then they go to product details page, they click on different variants. Before adding item to the cart, they want to make sure about reading about the return policy and refund policy and all. So there are lots of navigation happens with every click on an e-commerce website. Of course, this technology can also be used for non-e-commerce, on any website, right? Because this is a generic technology, it can be used on any website. But if your website's navigation rate is high, then this is helpful. If it is low, then probably this technology is not going to add such benefit to you, right? And then again, for the single page application, it is not applicable at all because no navigation is involved. So now we have the basic background of speculation rules. Let's see the differences between the offerings of Shopify native feature versus a Smart Prefetch app. So first big difference is the trigger mechanism, how the speculation is triggered. Now, if you see Shopify, they don't store per user navigation data, and because of lack of data, they cannot use the data engineering to predict the next move. And that is why Shopify uses hard-coded rules for every theme. And because the rules are hard-coded, there is no data intelligence involved. They are relying on the user's movement on the page. So when on a desktop device, when users start mouse over on a link, then they start prefetching that link. Similarly, on a mobile device, when a tab starts, then they prefetch the page. And by doing this, they save around 50 to 100 millisecond because they don't know where a user can go next in absence of the right data. They don't know where a user can go next. So they only rely on hover. If you are hovering on a link, mostly you will click on that link. It can be accidental also, but this is the only trigger that they use. But for Smart Prefetch, this is very different. Smart Prefetch stores all the navigation data of your users based on multiple attributes. Although, like, these are all GDPR compliant and we don't store any PII data, but the navigation data is stored and aggregated. So when user comes belonging to a particular attribute, or they belong to a particular segment, and there are so many attributes, based on all those attributes, we do the prediction where a user can go next. And the data, the AI is sitting on top of the data and doing the guesswork, the speculating guesswork. So because of this data intelligence that Smart Prefetch has, Now, when a user comes on this page 1, because we know the data, and based on this data, we are able to guess a user can go to page 2, 3, and 4. So, Smart Prefetch does not wait for a user to hover on that link to prefetch a page. We already know these three are, page 2, 3, 4 are the highest probable next page a user can go next without hovering. So, when user actually clicks on the link, the next page is already available. And here we are saving seconds, not just milliseconds, because we have an early trigger advantage. Based on data, we know for sure where a user will go, and that what makes us save more time for the user, and the page is almost ready. So this is a big difference. The second big difference is about the platform compatibility. Again, because Shopify uses hard-coded rules, they don't have data intelligence. And what they do is, because it's a hard-coded rule, the rule is hard-coded for every theme. And this feature is available only for liquid themes. You cannot use it for any other themes. And all the rules are hard-coded. Now, if you use any custom theme or you have developed your own theme, Shopify does not understand that. And that's why they don't support this speculation rule, because your pages can actually have logout links, right? And it can have user's dashboard link or some links which are personalized to user dependent on the user login session. So those specific links cannot be fetched. And if you're using a custom theme, then probably Shopify does not understand what all URLs or the pattern of the URLs present in that theme or used in that theme. So they cannot provide any speculation rule for those themes. While Smart Prefetch, it is platform agnostic. It works for Shopify, and we also have a plugin available for WooCommerce and WordPress. You can literally use it on any platform, even Laravel or literally any platform, because the rules are not hard coded. We understand or we discover the URL based on the navigation pattern, and as your traffic grows, as we understand or see more navigation data, AI training happens better, and then it makes us to do speculation better. So Smart Prefetch works on all themes, including liquid themes. It works on headless storefronts. It works on Hydrogen theme and all platforms outside Shopify as well. Third big difference is the eagerness control. So because Shopify's configuration is a platform-wide configuration, they don't have any settings available to control this. And another downside is their eagerness works the same way on desktop device and also on the mobile device. While these two devices are different, right? You understand, desktop devices, they have more power. They are usually more battery or connected to power supply, and they are connected to Wi-Fi, so they have a higher bandwidth internet connection. On the other hand, mobile devices, they have limited performance, running on limited battery and limited network. But the Shopify platform, the speculation rules on Shopify native, it doesn't differentiate any of the device. While Smart Prefetch, it differentiates between the devices. So if you're on a desktop, then we have more room to fetch some of the additional URLs, because there is no power constraint, there is no network constraint, right? So Smart Prefetch is smart enough to adapt this on different devices automatically. And also you can update in settings, you can control this manually. You can go inside the dashboard and you can set the eagerness level for mobile, tablet, and desktop devices separately. The fourth point is about the Safari support. The way speculation rules are adopted by Shopify, they utilize a header to provide these speculation rules to the browser. But the specification itself works only on Chrome-based APIs. Safari and Firefox, these two browsers, they don't support these configuration types. So if your users are coming more from iPhone or more from Safari on the iPhone or Firefox, then this feature is not going to help you at all. And especially if you are running an e-commerce store, then users using premium device and you being a store owner, you are unable to provide that premium experience to them. So this is a big lag. While Smart Prefetch handles this pretty smartly, it checks if the user's browser supports the modern way of doing the speculation rules. If it does, we stop. If it is not, we have a triple fallback system to do a preloading little differently for Safari and other older devices as well. By doing this, Smart Prefetch ensures that all of your users are getting advantage of this and then getting the same premium experience, even if their device or the browser does not support this modern feature. The fifth big difference is about the custom inclusion and exclusion of URLs. So because Shopify's configuration is a platform-wide configuration, they don't have any additional settings for the shop owners to control this. So it's likely on or nothing. If you have this feature turned on, it's gonna prefetch all the pages based on the standard Shopify rules. So if you have a page which you want to exclude from prefetching because of several reasons, right? See, prefetching can do some harm as well. For example, um, your server is keeping track of, let's say, free article user is visiting. Medium.com is a typical example, right? So free articles a user can visit in a month, and if you do prefetching of next articles, and if this is being monitored at the server end, server will probably see that, okay, the user has visited the second and third article now, let me increment the user's quota. Other examples are like sign out URLs or some other URLs, right? So for any reason, if you want to exclude some URLs from being prefetched, you cannot do this in Shopify native. On the other hand, if you want some URLs to be always prefetched, you also cannot do this. And there are some use cases for this. For example, if like on Shopify, right, your visitors, when they come to buy a product, they probably go to size guide, right, for example, or they check the return policy. And based on your data, if you see, like, most of the people, they check the return policy or they go to the size guide page every time they see a product, then probably that is something which you want to always prefetch irrespective of, and don't want users to hover on the link to start prefetching, right? In these cases, you won't be able to specify any of this in the Shopify native platform. While Smart Prefetch allows you to control everything, you can set rules. You can set rules to always prefetch some examples, like in this case, the size guide URL or the refund policy URL. Or you can also set rules to never prefetch anything. For example, sign out URLs if you have a custom sign out URLs, or other tracking URLs where your server is probably monitoring and tracking some counter for the user. You can set those rules. The sixth point is about being nice to your visitors, and the way Shopify native speculation rules works is they don't control anything. They rely on the browser to decide if prefetching should be done or not. And as per the standard web documentation, if user is on data saver or user is on battery saver mode, then no speculation should happen. If the browser is obeying this, the browser that your shoppers are using, if the browser is obeying this, then probably the Shopify rules will not get executed on the browser, right? But the Shopify has no control over this. They are all relying on the browser defaults for these safety checks. While Smart Prefetch, we check for several things, right? We check for if user has the data saver mode on or not. If the data saver mode is on, probably user is concerned about every bytes or every MB being wasted from their network. If they are on data saver mode, we don't prefetch any of the page. We kind of pause the prefetching feature completely. And then some other criteria are if user is on less than 20% battery, then also we don't do any prefetching. The last point is about how they are implemented, and this may not matter much because ultimately the advantage of the speculation is same no matter how it is implemented. But Shopify uses a header-based implementation, and it is injected via the HTTP headers of all pages. Little difficult for non-developers to debug or understand or modify. While the Smart Prefetch, it uses a script-based injection, and when you install the Smart Prefetch app on your Shopify store or WooCommerce store, we inject a small piece of JavaScript on the page, which executes after the page loads. So we ensure there's no penalty or there's no additional performance penalty when page is loaded. It executes after the page is loaded, and then it calls the backend, understand the current page, the attributes of the user, guess the next page, and then appends those pages or tell browser to prefetch those pages. So Smart Prefetch is script based, and then we also have a simple switch on the dashboard where you go and toggle it on or off without touching your store code or the liquid theme files or any of these. You can just turn it off from the dashboard directly. Smart Prefetch is available on Shopify App Store as well as WordPress plugin directory. Do check it out and see how much conversion improvements it can bring for your e-commerce store. Thank you for watching this video.